Okay, so this is going to be your swallow. Okay, so right here, what we're looking at is the base of the tongue right here and the epiglottis, and you can't really see much because of the view. Okay, so this is a perfect place to stop. Here are your, this is your vallecula, where when you swallow, when you swallow, all the food and liquid called your bolus will pool up right here. And then your epiglottis will close over your airway. This is your airway right here. It'll close over so that way no food or liquid gets in your lungs. Right here are your vocal folds and your arytenoids. And what these kind of do right here is they come together and they close your vocal folds to add a little protection under the epiglottis when it flops over. Right here behind the arytenoids and this little space right here, this is your piriform sinuses, and in the middle right here, it's closed, so you can't really see it, is the esophagus. So when your epiglottis closes over the airway, your all of your food will pool up right here, and your esophagus will open, allowing the food to go in, but the airway will be completely closed, so nothing will go in. Let's see that happening. See, so they're starting to close. And let's go back right here. So right there, what happened when the screen went white was the actual swallow, and the epiglottis closed over the trachea, so that way nothing would get in your airway.
Where's the trachea again?
The trachea is, let me go back. Right here, this big hole right here, and that goes into your airway, that goes into your lungs. Yeah, everything looks pretty normal. I didn't see anything on your vocal folds, anything anything in your airway.
And so show me, where are the vocal folds again?
This video is a little bit hard. Let's go back right here. So these are the vocal folds right here. These little this little white V looking thing.
Okay, okay.
And when they're closing like that, that's when you are talking.
Okay.
Breathing.
And then, oh.
So as long as the vocal folds are closed and the epiglottis closes over the trachea, you have a pretty normal swallow. This pooling is okay, that pooling is okay, as long as nothing goes in the trachea.
Okay, so the extra stuff that I see there, that's normal, all of that?
Yeah, that's a normal variation. It's just if you took another swallow right here, that would probably get rid of everything that's pooled up behind.
Okay.
Right here. That would probably get rid of everything that's behind right here, or if you drink something right after, but it's pretty normal.
And the esophagus, it stays closed like that? That's the way it's supposed to be?
Yeah, the esophagus stays closed, so that way you don't get any air that comes up like from your stomach or any like reflux. The esophagus stays closed until it starts to feel that something is pulled up right here in the piriform sinuses. Then it opens up and it lets everything go into your stomach.
Okay, got it. Okay, good. Because if not, then I'd be coughing.
Yeah, exactly. When you feel like something has gone down the wrong pipe, when you're drinking or something, that's when you cough it up and, you know, your throat hurts a whole lot and you can't stop coughing. Your body is trying to get that out of your lungs because it's not supposed to be there. And you could get really sick. You could end up with pneumonia if that goes down. But luckily for you, I mean, everything looks normal and that shouldn't be happening anytime soon.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, now let's do yours.
I think you have to turn off your share stuff because I
Okay,
don't think it's let me record. So let me try.
did it turn off my screen share?
Yes. And you're recording the call, so it should still work. Okay. And let me pull this here. Okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at your swallow real quick, and we'll see the liquid that you were drinking that's blue. When the screen was covered like that, it's just really quick when you were swallowing. And then this is the semi-solid. It's pretty quick, and the screen goes white. Let me pause it here really quick and see. This is the epiglottis, and it usually stays open because we're breathing or talking. Down here in this darker area is where you're going to be breathing through your lungs. That's the trachea. And then back here, I'll show you when the liquid comes in. So this area here is the vallecula. And then this is normal, what you're seeing when you first drink. In the oral stage, we start to push things back. And when you're eating food or drinking, this is what normally happens, that it'll pool here. Sometimes it'll pool even back here. This is the piriform sinuses area. You will not see your esophagus open because we're breathing and we can't have both open at the same time to breathe and eat or drink. As the swallow goes through right there, that's when you're actually swallowing. That's why we can't see anything with the camera. So at that point, this flap of the epiglottis goes over. Over here are the arytenoid cartilages, and they will help close the vocal fold area. And the vocal folds also seal up. And then all of this is protected so that you can actually take your drink or your food and actually push it down into your esophagus. Let's see if we can catch it here. So see, right now you can kind of see it closing up where all this is starting to get ready to close. Here are your vocal folds here, and then back here you may see some pooling once you actually get further into eating. You did a couple of swallows, so we really didn't see much pooling back here, but sometimes you'll see some of the blue, and that's perfectly fine. As far as this wall back here, this is actually the back part of your pharynx area, and so this would be toward the back of you. This is toward the front of you, anterior. Here's the tongue, and I don't know if you have any other questions that you're seeing. I'll replay the video, and that way you
What
can
are
ask.
these those bumpy things?
Oh, that's perfectly normal. That's part of the tongue. That's the base of the tongue. So that's, you don't feel any like salty or sweet or anything like that back here, but that is part of your tongue.
Okay. So that black part in the middle, that hole, what is that?
That actually does lead down into your trachea, and so that's where you would be breathing down into your lungs. So it is going to be black because we're not shining the light all the way down there. That's where that's going to be. And that usually stays open while we're breathing until you're actually ready to swallow, then it gets covered up.
Okay, I saw the vocal folds start to close earlier. What happens if the vocal folds don't close, but the little flap still goes over?
So what'll happen, I'm trying to get a good piece where we can see it a little closer. So when the vocal folds, if they stayed open and some liquid got into here in your trachea, you'd be coughing it up. It'd be called aspiration. If any of the liquid just comes on this outer edge, these are your false vocal folds. and that would be considered penetration. So you really don't want anything in this entire area, whether it's the false vocal folds or in your trachea. That's when you're going to have penetration or aspiration, depending, and you'll cough. So that way you can clear all that and get it out.
Okay. Is it normal for the esophagus to be closed?
It is, it's normal. We don't normally eat and breathe at the same time. So usually, like even for babies, it's suck, swallow, and then breathe. So you will definitely always have that part closed. And then once all of this is sealed, then it'll quickly open and everything drains into the esophagus at that point. The bolus that you have, which is whatever you've chewed up or whatever you're drinking, will drain into there.
Okay. Does everything look normal in mine?
It does. The esophageal upper sphincter is all closed. Everything's open when it needs to be when you're breathing. Your epiglottis looks really good. There's no other nodules or anything that I can see on your vocal folds. Everything looks normal here. There's no discoloration. The pink coloring that we have and everything, even the shiny parts where you have saliva and everything, that's okay. All of that should be there. All right.
Okay. All
Okay.
right. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, go ahead and you'll have to stop the recording on your end.
Um,
So pull up your little menu